Welcome to Spiritual Rockstar Podcast, where world-changing spiritual entrepreneurs come to deeply awaken the power within to bring forth their greatest purpose, to create massive awakened impact for millions of souls around the planet, while enjoying being in tune with all life and real wealth in all aspects of their lives. I'm your host, Daniel John Hanneman.
And hello, everyone. So great to be with you always. And so we have another exciting time here to be able to be together. And by the time this airs, it will be approximately 1 week since the event that took place at Washington, D.C., the storming of the Capitol and the tragedy that has happened there. So today I'm going to be taking some time to talk about it because it's very much in people's energies and minds and hearts. And I've deliberately not really gone public to say much about it because a lot of people are. And I really felt like wanted to just give a little bit of space before, for myself anyway, that I wanted to share anything about what's happening in this country here in the US where I am and what this signifies for each of us and for the collective from my perspective. And how we can utilize it to help us to deepen into our awakening and deepen us into rocking our sacred purpose. So if you're new to this, channel or you haven't already, make sure you do subscribe so that you can continue to follow what I'm up to with the broadcasts I do, and of course for the amazing guests I have each and every week. Virtually every single week we have new guests on. So many incredible guests, and they have such incredible things to share with you on every single topic, from spirituality to health to relationships to business building, money, you name it. We talk about it here, even politics here and there. So, okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just kind of launch in from there to talk about this subject today. So, for the longest time, on social media and through my business and through everything, I have had a stance of really just being in a heart space with whatever these issues that come up primarily. Okay, I'm human. I've slipped this way or that way and share different views or beliefs or concepts that I have about things at various points. And perhaps I will in the future. I don't, who knows? But perhaps I already am still. I don't, who knows? That can happen. But I wanted to just share, and it may be of interest to some of you that follow me. The reason I don't usually get into it, other than to talk mostly about just the spiritual aspect of it and what it means for us personally, is because the truth is, what are you going to do about what's happening? Okay. So we can conjecture about it. We can keep talking about it, keep piling on. When we agree with someone, we keep saying, yes, yes, and more. Hallelujah. I so resonate with you. And then, or you can fight someone. I so don't resonate. How could you believe that? Here's an article. Here's the fact check, or here's a fact check for your fact check, or there's a kind of a couple of different iterations online where we spend so much time on these things, and including myself. I find myself sucked into it, particularly when there's a big event that I find myself there. I'm like, wow, spending more time on this than maybe I really, really, truly need to be, for the highest purpose I'm here to serve. So when I bring this up, I felt like it's so powerful to take a look at the symbolism of what's happening here and what's it really pointing to. To take a time to really look more deeply within to see what this is about. And you'll get your own answers. It's like, looking at an ink blot in a way. And I would have you start to look at world events more in that way. I know it sounds kind of crazy, but what is the meaning in every scene that's happening in our life, no matter how dramatic or tragic it may be, is the meaning that we give to it. So when these things happen, everyone's rushing in to make a judgment or a concept or react to what's happening. Is that awakened presence? Is that the infinite space of presence within? If we're not willing to trust them or say, well, we don't have time for that right now. Well, isn't that what the mind always says? Isn't that what we've always said separation energy always says? And the minute you feel a rise up in your being, like, no, Daniel, you're wrong. If you're feeling that right now, I am so grateful. I'm so grateful. You've got to just really ask yourself, do you believe in absolute, that there are absolute truths to life? There's always relative truth. We know that, right? So is there absolute truths to life? So in other words, you can't say that in certain areas of life, like politics or where, it comes into your political beliefs or religious beliefs or whatever it may be, that these universal truths that you say are so true in every scenario in life. And then you say, but this is different. You can't do that. And I see a lot of people doing that. So if you find yourself slipping and you're going into those places where you're going into fear, you're going into hate, you're going into this better happen and panic mode and everything else, that's where we don't want. That's where we want to maybe have more curiosity. Honestly, don't go there, but like that would be one of my suggestions. But also is get into curiosity mode. Are you actually in your authority around these matters? Are you in your authority? So is there storming the symbol of power here in this country, one of the symbols of power, the capital? Is it disrupting your sense of connection with your own power or evoking the sense of your power to want to come forth to do something in the world? Where are you at? I'm just asking, where are you at? So you could feel that. So I feel it inside me. I feel that, ooh, something, I need to do something. I get that energy comes up inside of me, right? And so I feel that the storming of the Capitol, this symbolism of people that we're seeing that storm the Capitol, and people, at this point, more will come out by the time this episode comes out, and then in the future, even more will be revealed. There's people that died. There's people that died in this this event. Destruction of property. I imagine injuries. I haven't heard about those things yet, but so we know certain things that we've heard that have happened, right? So we get a reporting of what has happened. This is always true in life. We get a reporting of what has happened. Even when it happens right in front of us, there's a reporting of what just happened. Have you ever been in a conversation where somebody says, when you just said what you just said, it made me feel like this? And you say, well, what did I say? And then they say, well, I can't remember, but I just know that it upset me. And I think you kind of said this. We can't even get an accurate reporting of what happened. Like, it happened in your own world, and it happened just 30 seconds ago. And then we have everybody rushing to judgments and conclusions about what happened with storming the Capitol. Again, no matter how tragic it is, people we don't know. We don't know a lot of stuff. And when your mind says, yes, I do know, when it instantly reacts and it says, no, I do know, that's no different than any other scenario in your life. It's the same voice. It's the same mechanism. It isn't any different. You can't say it's different. Now, you could say, I have the spiritual guidance and a sincere download around it, and I know this and that. Okay, maybe you have that experience, but still an experience. And maybe I would have you pay really close attention to that for sure. But even that, when we come to too many conclusions, we're going to become lost. So I think more important than what our opinions are about what's going on with such things in the world, and really any issue, what our opinions are is what's it evoking inside of us, and what deeper opportunity is there for us to serve our purpose. Because listen, I mean, you could get down to the nitty gritty. We could find out whatever the truth is around that whole storming of the Capitol is. Okay, there were just random Trump supporters that decided to bust in there and do whatever they did, which isn't all entirely clear, everything that happened in there. But at this moment, but I think what it's trying to tell us, like, because I feel everything's speaking to us, it's what it's trying to say is there's a deeper power and authority in our lives, and it doesn't come from our government. That to me, I mean, that is a message I have for all of us, that I'm sending to all of us. Accept it, take it in or not. Truth is, there's a much powerful authority and power and sense of security and sanctity and freedom. This idea that the U.S. is around freedom and independence. That independence doesn't come solely through a symbol or through a government. It comes from a divine sovereignty that we have. It's something we inherently have within us. It's not something that can be taken away or messed with, even through our Constitution here in this here in the U.S. Cannot be taken away. Not the truest sovereignty that we have. It cannot be taken away. And when we allow ourselves to remember that, we're no longer operating from anger, fear, and all these other things. Once we start to realize that nothing can take that away from us, we are sovereign beings. And you may not resonate with that, and that's fine, but we are, okay? And maybe my perspective, but we are that. We are sovereign beings. We have the ability to choose what we want to listen to. Are we going to listen to the deeper energy that comes within the stillness? Are we going to listen to our guides? Are we going to listen to our angels? Are we going to listen to all the people that are speaking with an open heart? All of them. The people we agree with, people we disagree with, the people that we wonder what they're thinking. It doesn't matter. We love everybody, that we really embrace everyone. I've had people say to me that I think there's just one conversation I had online about this situation. I asked them about staying in their heart and, or what was the exact thing? I said, they gave an opinion about what's happened. I said, okay, well, now what's your heart saying? My heart's saying, is this, and it was an opinion in the end. It was really an opinion. It wasn't some deep spiritual download. It was just an opinion. That I'm sure from his emotional heart, he knew to be a fact in his own mind, But and that's fine. It's I love this person exactly where they were. So that's the points he made. I said, hey, these are very worthy points, So yeah, so we're going to be triggered, right? So these different storms that happen in our personal lives and then in the collective life. And I think it's just really important that we understand we're sovereign beings. Increasingly, we're more and more addicted to social media and all the different information we can get online, and all these different ways that we can get information. And it really can, if you're not awake enough, it can really, really take you over. It can take you over like a drug. It can really take you over. I always want to say that even louder, like, it can really take you over. I'm serious. This is like, I'm like, wake up. This stuff really can take you over. It can overtake your consciousness. And what's running your consciousness now? Concepts, beliefs, separation energy, right? It really is. I don't care how nice the ideas are, but this should be this way, and it's got to be that way, and we're going to fight. There, it always comes back to that. We're going to fight. We're going to fight. We're going to fight. How long has humanity fought? How long have we been doing that? How do we feel about it? I mean, maybe we feel good about it. Maybe. But how do we feel about it? Do we want to continue? Most people say they don't want to fight. They want peace. So if that's true, then why do we keep saying we're going to fight? That's what people are saying, no matter what the belief is about this situation. And largely, I don't talk about my own mental political beliefs, because I know they're just my own beliefs. I don't know them to be absolutely true. I don't know them to be absolutely true. I can't say, using my spiritual tools, for example, with Byron Katie, right? If you know about Byron Katie and her 4 questions, first question she asks is it true? Oh yeah, I know it's true. Can you absolutely know this is true? The answer is going to be no. If you're honest, you don't absolutely know pretty much anything. I mean, pretty much anything. I want to say you don't really know anything. We just don't. People are allow themselves to be very uncomfortable, or become very uncomfortable with not knowing things. And sometimes we really don't need to know things the way we think we do. We don't need to know the things in terms of what's really happening out there. What we want to do, if there's something that we want to pay more attention to, is what's happening in here. What's happening? What's being transmitted to me that I'm supposed to be awake and aware to? What am I supposed to be aware of right now? What is this evoking inside me? A sense of they've stormed my capital, because I think that's where people's subconscious goes. This is my capital. They've stormed it. People are dying, and these horrible people. No one's happy with what happened, as far as I can tell, for the most part. So, yeah, and then how people utilize this to beat up on the other people, right? So, are you one of those people? Are you doing that? If you are, I ask you to pause, to stop, to give forgiveness, to love others. Stop bashing other people with your concepts. Do you believe your sacred purpose is to bash people over your own mental concepts about things, no matter how convinced your mind is of them? I don't think that's what we're supposed to be doing. I mean, that's my suggestion. So that's why I'm having this show today, is just to have, there's so many voices wanting to parse out their concepts. How many of us are actually just allowing ourselves to know the deeper truth of what this signifies for us individually and collectively? For me, it activates me to want to awaken consciousness more than ever at an event like this. Like, it's just like, okay, more than, I want to bring more of my energy forth, or whatever wants to come forth me. Not necessarily my personal energy, but the highest intention, the greatest thing, yes. Full awakening of the consciousness, whatever that means, But it's just a pointer, It's just a pointer that evokes me, and it comes through with something like this happening. Not just the event itself, but all that's within it, all the circumstances around it. So there's people are fearful about Trump being in for a couple more weeks. There's people are fearful about the new administration. Either one, it's always this dramatic thing where usually it's never true. I mean, most of the time it's never really true. Like the end of the world is going to happen if it doesn't get out, before the 20th, or in this case. And then the underworld will happen if the new administration gets in, and the whole world will be over, like it's all going to be horrible now. And, or, of course, and most of my viewers probably think it's going to be better and much more expanded. And I don't know. I don't know who listens as far as political views, other than the people I talk to. But as your opinions, your viewpoints, what's the deeper truth? So when you're willing to confess that you don't really know what's true, it becomes very disoriented to people because you have to make choices in life, right? So even choosing not to choose can be a choice, right? So like, okay, well, now it's time to make a vote, to vote for a candidate, for example. Well, do you believe like this person should be in or that person? And they have to make a choice. I feel we would do far better to make those choices by strictly by intuition, first and foremost. I feel like we're overfeeding ourselves on all this stuff that other people are getting off on, then we get off on it. Like, listen to me. Did you hear this? Did you know that? I just think people are having fun with it in a way. Okay. People are just having fun. They're making money, sharing this stuff as well. And they perhaps it's their soul's destiny to do it at the same time. But probably is. This probably is part of their soul path at a minimum, right? So of course, but yeah, I mean, you have to question for yourself. I mean, what's real? What's true? What's deeply true? And we just don't know. I could tell you that I'm certain that mainstream media isn't it's by far not that accurate on many stories and slants things. And I think that'd be pretty honest, objective viewpoint, mainstream media being, I don't know, so many outlets out there, including CNN, Fox, NBC, or whatever have you, all of them. I mean, they're all slanted. And then if you want to listen to news perspectives online, they're basically all slanted too. Even objective sources, maybe they're kind of objective, and then all of a sudden they're running the energy one way or another. And again, we're showing. So there's very few true objective news sources, and people find them to be boring. They love the juice of a perspective. Boy, let's get behind this thing, right? And that's what we've been in the personal development and spiritual industry as well. Like, man, what's the exciting idea we want to get behind next? What if that's exactly what's keeping us in the same place of consciousness, right? Looking for this fun thing to be with that isn't so fun after a while. At some point it isn't so great anymore. Then, okay, let's try this now. Let's go that way. And so what's the truest thing? What's the most truest thing? And rather coming to conclusions and saying you've got to figure it out, so allow yourself to feel into the space within, feel into your heart. Stop saying that's not enough. I'm hearing a lot of people saying like, that's not enough. We've got to fight. You better have your opinion. You better be the right opinion and things like this. And on both sides of issues, on both sides. I mean, I've heard it, trust me, from Republicans, Democrats, I've heard it from both sides. You better get on board, or both sides will say at times, like people within both sides will say sometimes, that take both sides will say, you're complicit with the evil, both sides. So So if you actually listen to these concepts, you're going to be evilly weighed by somebody's measure. It's crazy. It's nuts. So this is the insanity of the pain body and the mind. When we imagine a world that's truly enlightened, what do we see? What do we see? What's your vibe on that? You imagine it happens through us conjecturing and fighting and having a bunch of strong opinions and beliefs? Is that the enlightened world we're looking for? Or is it more like, kind of just seems like this is what's wanting to emerge. And other people may have other views, but that we can acknowledge and respect each other. And that we don't give our power away to a government or to a media or any of the media, not just mainstream media, or to even different personal development or spiritual leaders or prognosticators, even myself or anyone, but to really give it to God, as we say, to allow our own authority to point us towards a deeper truth, so that when a scene emerges, we take the actions that we need to take for us, or it feels like what we need to do or not need to do, right? So either way, but okay, I need to meditate more. I need to take care of myself. I mean, through COVID, all this political stuff, all the whatever, environmental stuff, racial stuff, it doesn't matter, all the different stuff. That is not the most essential thing. And I would definitely get flack from some people on that. And I'm grateful for that. Bring it on. Bring it on. You got more? That's fine. I'm still going to be the infinite presence that I am within me. No matter, and it will be there long after your form is come and gone. It will win out. The infinite presence will win out. And the love that we're to return to will always be here. No matter your concepts, no matter what the fights have been, peace and love reign supreme. It's the thing we're being called back, being called back home. And every moment is an opportunity for that, no matter how dramatic the scenes are in our outer world. Show up in a sense of our outer world. Now it's happening inside you. Now it's not really your outer world. It's something you're experiencing in your personal world, in your imaginary world, quite frankly, your perceptual world. Perceptual world is probably a better pointer, because people say, oh, imaginary means it doesn't exist. Well, yeah, I'd say that's true too, quite frankly. It doesn't exist in the way that you think it does. Not quite the way you think it does. Too many concepts, too many ideas. So I know there's 4 people dead. I know there was some storming of the Capitol, apparently. At least we have news footage of it. We know that, Trump made a speech and he said some things that I could, I mean, that's a loaded one right there, but like definitely could it incite people to want to do something like that? Sure. Absolutely. Did he literally say to do those things? Not that I know of, not that I know of. I've heard people say that he did, but I haven't heard it. But has Donald Trump said endless lies? Absolutely. Has Donald Trump said many things that are true? Personally, I think absolutely. Absolutely. Maybe more so than many previous politicians. Kind of both. Very split energy. And that's why people can't figure it out. So they just pick with a man like Trump or anybody. The man's totally evil. The man's a total savior. Neither is really completely true at all. He represents whatever you decide he represents, just like anything else. And as for the new administration, Biden and Kamala, we can all say that we believe this, we believe that. We don't know. But there does seem to be an effort that seems to be clear, consistent in information, even from their own mouths, of those that are connected in the world, seeing that there is this a desire to bring the world together in a way of a global government, so to speak, even if we still have individual governments, that there's a oneness. And that, whoever the power players are behind that, who knows? We can have, again, China, the five people, I don't know. The Russia, you can throw Russia, throw whoever you want, I don't care. They're all concepts, we don't know. The election was stolen, but that's for fun. Why? Everybody's juicy, right, to talk about the specifics. Was the election stolen? Well, we know there's biases in the media. We do know that. There's no question about it on both sides. There's biases. There's election laws that were changed for whatever reason they were. Some say they're unconstitutional. There's a legal argument, a very clear legal argument that things weren't right, things weren't done correctly. There's a lot of people that say that they were witness to fraud. Is it possible they're all wrong? Well, I don't know. Could thousands of climate scientists be wrong? There was ClimateGate. Does that mean that climate change isn't real? Of course not. So you see, I'm not going to come here to tell you I know what the truth is, and I'm going to tell you the truth when it comes to these things, because that, again, what's the point? What's the point? I feel we are to take a stand for things that feel true for us, that we feel are right, not from a lot of happenstance concepts and constructions, but what feels true to our soul. I feel I'm here to help awaken people, and I do it by helping you guys to wake up and to be the awakened leaders that you're here to be, so that the impact you bring are coming from awakeness rather than from, more of the old delusional stuff, old delusional power structure, I want to say. I'm here to help you guys to get really tuned in, so you know your truth, you know your deeper purpose, you know what you're here to do, and that you formulate it into the structures in your business and in your life that work for you, that are rock solid no matter what happens in the world, that you are so connected and so powerful because you are one with source, that you're untouched by such things in terms of being defeated by them in any way, but that you will prosper, and that all can prosper. That's what I'm a stand for. That's what I'm here for. That all are loved, that all are respected. That if it takes us letting go of so many things that we've given our power weight to, that we do it, whether it be various technology, media outlets, etc. We make those decisions. Looks like we need new political parties, because when people are honest, most people aren't that crazy about the Democratic Party here in the US. Most people aren't that crazy about the Republican Party in the US, but they're fighting really hard for them at the same time. That's kind of insanity. It's kind of like, I've got a bad relationship, I'm really fighting for it, but I know I need to end it, right? So, but we don't know where else to go, right? It's kind of like, it's like, it is. I have compassion for us in this case, because we don't know what to do. We don't know. And what we're called to do often, it's the most simplest thing. It's the easiest possible thing. And it's so simple. It's so easy, really, ultimately. It's to surrender. And everybody thinks it's the worst thing you could do because we need to fight. But every occurrence where people say we need to fight, the vast majority of the people saying that aren't doing anything but other than throwing energy around online. So my suggestion is, if you don't want people storming the Capitol, you'd like to see an improvement on, from what we were seeing in the current scene, open up your hearts, start helping people. Why don't you love these sorts of people that might be storming the Capitol? Whether, again, Trump supporters, Antifa, whoever these people are that storm the Capitol. Again, I'm not here to say one way or the other. And if people are so triggered that if I would even say that these things are possible, then again, oh my gosh, people, how insane have we gotten? We just don't know. We all know that, I can say this, whoever did it, we all know if it wasn't Trump supporters, they all know where to find Trump apparel. Oh, they wear Trump hats. We know they're Trump people. Are you kidding me? We know the illusions that can be created these days. We know that literally, like, I'm not, like, I could be a deep fake. I could be someone, the technology is so strong these days. We're in a place of illusion, but there is a place that knows the truth. And so I do know things about what are happening that I believe to be the truth. But I'm not here today to talk about those things entirely clearly about what's been happening, because people will believe or they won't believe, and I just don't see it's my role today anyway to speak up to such things. But instead, I want to help direct you in your own guidance. You can know what you sense to be your own truth, but you've got to stay open, because those truths sometimes are just not really true. And we don't really know what the truth is usually. So what are you going to do? For me, it evokes me to want to love more people, because those people that stormed the Capitol, what if you had been taking a stronger stand for your purpose, were able to reach these people and have them realize how delusional their perspectives are, perhaps, or not. Maybe they're not delusional. I don't know. I'm not going to say I know for 100%. But let's say that, they have real issues, or more than likely, that could be, resolved, that this is not a loving thing to do, right? So what if someone could have reached them rather than post hoc saying, oh, well, that was so horrible, and let's, I don't know, like, I don't know what the ideas are. I think a lot of times we just have to say, how could we have prevented that from happening? No, we can't prevent everything from happening, so it's about acceptance too. But was there something we could have done to prevent that? What does it evoke? And of course, it's all in the past, the conjecture, but it may point to what wants to happen right now. Like, okay, and then just period, what wants to happen through me, through my purpose right now, and then letting that happen. So anyway, if you're listening to all this, somewhere where you can comment, I'm very happy to hear your comments. Really, whatever you want to share. I do discourage political rants a little bit, because again, I would ask you to be centered in your comments and share from your deepest truth, what you know to be true for you, in any comments. And I would love to, I'd just love to, I'd love to hear from you, either, whatever it is you'd like to share about the subject matter at hand. So, yeah. So these are good things. We're all going to individually, collectively have things happen. I know, recently I have somebody I know that lost a younger brother, and very tragically, and I'm not going to get into any details, but the point is there's a lot of things going on. And if we don't start allowing ourselves to be a little bit more awake and aware to the moment and to the opportunities that are being presented to us all day long, no matter what's happening, we're going to kind of stay where we are. We're going to stay in old patterns. We have a chance to wake up right now. And let me tell you, I mean, again, you're hearing from others a lot, again, I used to be a metaphysical mindset where I'd be like, well, whatever's happened, we can just address it metaphysically. And the truth is, yes, and there are certain patterns that are coming. There's certain things that are wanting to unfold. And my guidance is strong and clear on this one. And again, this is from what I've received, is that we can make a huge difference to alleviate suffering on this planet, to be the Sacred Heart, to be a deeper power and truth, and be in our own authority, and to lead people so that they can wake up. Whatever you do to help people to do that, and to be that spiritual rock star, to awaken others to a deeper truth so they can come back home. And then we can experience an amazing world that does increasingly have more great stuff for all of us to enjoy and to share in. And stop giving our attention and our power away to those things that keep leading us adrift. Instead, focus on the true power, the true nourishment, the true bread, I want to say, of source within. And knowing that if we seek peace and stillness in our life, if we seek love, and we commit to it, better yet, that you'll stop the machinations of the mind and can continue to deepen the power and strength that builds up within your pain body and your mental mind, and allow yourself to instead experience love and peace, bliss, and prayer and meditation. So you can be connected, and you can pray and direct energy that can be beneficial for any of these situations. Because again, for 99% of us, probably something like that, the best thing you can do is to take care of yourself, no matter how crazy this thing might get at times over these next how many ever years you've got left on the earth, because it'll just keep going on to some level, but intensely probably in the 2020s here, from my guidance. And we can really save a lot of people's lives, save a lot of unnecessary suffering. So let it be an awakener for what wants to happen through you. Make a commitment to yourself, to be committed to awakening, committed to peace, committed to love, committed to the highest that's wanting to unfold right now. That we can let that be so. Let it be done. Knowing that if we continue to be focused on the outer and what we believe should be happening in the outer, that we continue to stay in a spiral. And we allow that which we know to be true from our soul, that we're meant to come to see a vision, to come to witness to it in our lives. We allow ourselves to move from that space. We'll see those visions come into reality, create an awakened, enlightened world that does increasingly work in a way that even our minds, perhaps, as they become more still and awake and aware of the real truth, could say, seems like things are working a bit better. And the mind, and there's an aspect of our mind that we want to love and embrace that can attack everything. And we can embrace that as well. And as we do so, the minute we embrace it, it comes back to love. It doesn't feel the need to do that anymore. And we get to go all the way back home. But it comes through embracing everything, even what's happened recently. I know that's a crazy thing to say too. What if we were to embrace what happened? Wow, perfect, right? Perfect. This happened. This is the best thing that could possibly have happened. to take it from that stance. Why is it the best thing that could have possibly happened? What I think of is, well, no matter what situation happens, there's always some idea that it could have been worse. Always. So, wow, life's so giving that that it wasn't worse, whatever the situation was. And it's so great because when it's waking up and all the good that'll happen through this will be this. Look at me saying that there's a deeper commitment for my light work in the world as a result of this. What's happening right now, it's strong, it's clear. That's happening for countless more lives. So in a way, these things, every contraction you feel within that happens because of something that happened outside of us, is there to help us on our journey and to help others. And it's strange and weird that it would seem to work that way, but it just is the nature of things in this dimension, in this time and space. So from that place, I just want to thank you for listening in today. Hopefully something in all these, I want to say my babbling has been supportive and helpful to you and awoken something in you that will support you in the days ahead. Those of us that are here to be guardians of the light of the consciousness need to continue to tune in and listen deeply. And there's things that are available and possible that we'll be working together on. We'll get to celebrate each step along the way. And when things happen that our minds don't like, we're going to learn to embrace them. We're going to learn to love them and celebrate those as well after maybe we get upset and we grieve something. We're going to learn to embrace these things because you're not going to stop it. You can't stop the problems of the world. From a place that they come from, there is no stopping it, but there is loving it. From love, see far less of these issues mucking things up. For a sense of the divine perfection that you are experiencing it. It's just the truth. See how it works even in your personal life. You know it works in your personal life, right? And it works the same way in the collective. It really does. There is not another power. You are the authority of your experience. Claim your authority and your power. Okay, everyone. I'm going to leave it at that for today. Lots of love to you, and if I can be of some additional support to you, feel free to check me out as always at yoursacredpurpose.com. Get your meditate and make money meditation if you haven't already got that. And that will tune you in that energy I'm talking about. Open you up, get you in your truth in the higher frequencies, right? Have you embrace the life that you really want and let it simply be attuned in your energetic field, that you can enjoy this beautiful life. See the beauty in everything. Realize you're not just white lighting it. You can feel the grief, you can feel the pain, you can feel the empathy. You can embrace all of your emotions, and yet you can see the divine perfection in everything and let it be so, and trust this way of being. Okay, everyone. Much love. Goodbye for now. And keep on tuning in, and we'll keep on rocking it here at Spiritual Rockstar Podcast. Goodbye for now.
You're listening to Spiritual Rockstar Podcast. Stay tuned for our next upcoming new episodes each Wednesday and Saturday. Please be sure to subscribe, rate, and review to help us to serve you best. As a reminder, you can get your free Meditate and Make Money meditation at www.yoursacredpurpose.com to rock your sacred purpose. Goodbye for now, everybody.